Hello everybody, welcome back to the John Bernard Waffle Hour on Waffle Wednesdays. If you want to get in touch with the podcast, feel free to email us the jbwafflehour@gmail.com or over on Instagram at the jbwafflehour podcast. Anywhere you do see the podcast, whether it be Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, please make sure you like, subscribe, rate and comment on all episodes. If you want to listen back, of course we have many episodes in our back catalogue over on Spotify, so feel free to listen to them, and you can roll the old jingle there and we get this episode underway.
Yeah, waffle me this, waffle me that. Thinking of the topics that you all could have had. The only game that makes me feel so alive. I'm guessing for 30, it could be only 5. Getting them all would be a superpower. You would get it every week on the JB Waffle Hour. 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 The JB Waffle
I think you're putting me under a little bit of pressure there. That was the first time we've played that and waiting for it to come in.
It's like radio.
I know. Did we do it good? Did I do that good?
That was pretty good opener. That was a good opener.
That was so much pressure. I was actually starting to sweat there.
You're very welcome to 2FM.
Oh, don't be saying that on the podcast.
Oh, sorry.
we want the job in LMFM.
It's spelled TWOOFM. It's a different one.
Totally different. So we are in the Scotty School of Music? No, Meath School of Music.
Yeah, Meath Music Academy.
So this is the first podcast we were doing outside of the studio or my house.
Oh yeah, the pressure.
It's slightly more impressive as we were able to have the lead in of the jingle at the start instead of me just putting it in after the fact.
I like the way you put it in, Bertie.
Yeah, so this is episode 20. It's a big milestone for Scotty. It's his number 5, fifth one in. The JB Waffle Hour. We shorten it now because of the jingle you put in, the JB Waffle Hour. It's now called the JB Waffle Hour. Oh, but we're kind of calling it that anyway. So
I'm making an impact.
Yeah, you're very welcome to Waffle Wednesdays, and this is episode 20. So later on, as always, we'll finish off with the waffle game. We'll do each other. And that's why this is over 18s.
Oh, it's definitely over 18s, is it?
Well, I clicked that it's not for kids.
Okay,
so.
all right. Okay. As long as you give that advice at the start, it's fine.
If you're under 18, please switch off. There'll be lots of double meanings and stuff like that.
In saying that, I played a little bit of it. I think I told you this. I played a little bit of it to my daughter.
Oh yeah.
She's 11, and it was the part where I called you a sexy nerd. And she looked at it like she was like, "What did he just say?" I've never heard my dad say sexy before.
It's okay. You're bringing sexy back, Scotty. It's alright.
I freaked her completely out. Poor girl.
We also have a bit of a roundup this week at the start. So we'll get it because we've had a bit of feedback and correspondence. Then we have a slight main topic, and we're actually going to do our first review. We'll go ahead and do that with this one, sure.
Nice.
We have some apologies to make before we get into that though. But we'll do that. I don't know. Run in order. Will that be first? Will it be last? Will we do the topic? Will we go off on loads of tangents and forget all about the review? Yeah. It is quite possible.
Yeah, it is possible. Yeah, it's that's not the point of waffling. You have to just let it go
with it. I said at the start it was just going to be like unedited, as least edited as possible, and just waffles. And whatever tangent it goes, we'll come up with the name then after. We won't put pressure on ourselves and what to do.
Waffles. Yeah, it'll come. So yeah, I have I have a bit of housekeeping to actually give to you from last week. So there's another update on Youth Mass. Yeah, we're getting more.
Is this actually from the people in Youth Mass?
No, we're getting closer though. One person at a time. We're getting closer. So Phil Callahan. I told you last week that my brother sent him a text just to see where the band were and what they were doing and stuff.
Yes.
And Phil got back to me and said, "How are you?" Yeah, they're still going up until the Pando. He called it the Pando. He lives on the south side of Dublin.
I
think.
was just going to say, is that where he lives?
The Pendro.
Yeah,
And
Pendro.
Gav was a member. I believe it was a challenge to even do practices, obviously, during the pandemic. But technically, they are still a band. So that's the update on
And
Youth
have they
Mass.
replaced anybody? Is this still the same original lineup? Have they done a Westlife on it and got rid of people?
I can ask again, and we can update maybe on next week's. This is an ongoing topic, Youth Mass.
So welcome to the Youth Mass Fan Club podcast.
They don't even know that all of this stuff is going out about
Bring them back. All we need is just one member of the band to listen.
Right. So I've got the next piece of housekeeping was on. We released an artist sketch on Patrick McLaughlin. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Which is currently on our Instagram there, and we have a positive sighting, we think, of a man resembling Patrick selling old buckets from the back of a Fiat Panda near Essen, which is about 30 kilometres north of Dusseldorf.
So, wow, so he's on the move.
He's on the move. He got 30 kilometres from Dusseldorf. So we'll keep you posted as
He obviously
as
didn't
that
get the
develops.
money for the train journey then, did he?
No,
The train fare.
he's on foot. Well, I mean, how many years ago was it that he got in touch with you?
Oh, it was like sometime last year I got that email.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't
so,
ages ago, yeah.
So, although a year, 30 kilometres in a year, he's definitely on
There
foot.
was like a phase somewhere in like June that like a load of them came in, and there was one from him, and then another email from what was it? Something about adopting foreign babies, you know, and then another one about this is your electric use in your area, Woodview, Bernard. I was thinking, what is this? I don't know.
And that was it.
Yeah, it went through a phase. I don't know. I think just during the pandemic, I think all those kind of came up. What are they called? Pishing?
Oh, yeah, pishing. That's what it's called. Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
I did a lot of pishing during the pandemic. Fishing. Yeah, they're fishing.
No, it's with a P though.
Yeah, but it's PH, I think, which technically is an F. Fishing.
Oh, right. Okay. Fishing things then. That's my bad then.
It's another San Marino incident. all
Did you
over again.
actually ever watch The Ranch on Netflix?
No.
Ashton Kutcher is in that, but like I think is every couple of episodes he says a saying wrong, but the way he says it wrong, you kind of think actually that actually could be the saying. So do you know the way people say cold feet? You get cold feet over whatever it is, and he says cold feet. No, it's cold feet, like a baby horse. You know that you can't stand up.
Cold feet. there was I heard someone during the week saying, instead of saying waffle, this is for the podcast. I heard someone saying waffle. They put a H before the W in waffle.
Whip.
Waffle. It's like that cool whip thing. Yeah.
What are you putting an H in there for?
I heard you on the waffle hour. I was like, you what? No, you didn't.
Waffling. Although someone Sarah said, actually, what Sarah? Yeah, that every time she listens she wants waffles. So that's the
Now,
that's what we're trying to make.
Did you clarify whether it was potato or pancake waffles?
No, but I did once say that she said something about waffles, and I said, oh, they're so versatile, and she didn't get it, and she didn't tell me she didn't get it for like about 3 months until I said it again. And she said, what's that all about? He says, then I'll remember the ad in the 90s. And obviously she's too young to remember the ad in the 90s. So I was a bit upset over that.
Generational issues in the relationship.
Yeah.
That's okay though. That's okay.
I thought that was a famous ad.
Yeah, it probably would have been. Yeah, I know it
I
anyway.
haven't had potato waffles in a while.
We should go out. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, for waffles?
Just
well,
in general.
I want to go to the waffle place in Oldcastle. I think that would be a fantastic place to go for our first outing as the Waffle Hour, and do like a little bit of recording there, eating, and maybe a little bit of a review.
Do you know the name of the place?
It's called the Waffle Company.
That's definitely the name. So we definitely.
You're looking at me now, and I'm like,
this is definitely something that you should have researched.
I am not reaching for my phone to check the name of the place,
because we can now mention this waffle company in Oldcastle on the podcast and give them a little tag and see if we can
Wafflers.
Wafflers, that's a good name.
So
in Oldcastle. Wafflers in Oldcastle. So if we can get you listening to the podcast, lads, we'll come out and do a live waffle hour from.
We can't do it live, can we?
Well, no, we're not in the radio, actually. Yeah,
we'll do a recording.
A recording there.
But we're going to go in like the mystery shoppers
Oh,
with fake glasses and mustaches.
Or we both need wigs.
Yeah, and wigs.
Oh, yeah.
No, because I think I'd like to do that. That'd be a good episode. So, like, we'll do the review episode today on the product that we have.
Yeah.
And then maybe go places as well. That'd be cool. Just to break up. Because
Just
it's a refreshing change to be actually face-to-face doing it. And rather than bum-to-face. And also that we're in quite a more open place that's not cold, like the studio at home.
This place is always a sauna.
Yeah.
I blast this radiator during the day, and
yeah.
students come in, they're like, how do you deal with that? But I'm just acclimatized to it now.
Oh yeah.
I'm just nice and warm all the
Are
time.
those windows behind you, no?
They're not windows, no, that's soundproofing. Well, not soundproofing. What those things are actually is when you play something loud, the sound will travel towards those lads and it breaks up the sound so it doesn't come back at you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe I said were those windows when you took me on a tour of a place and I know that that's not outside.
Yeah. Clearly.
Although you have an inside window.
I do. There's lots of things in this building that you wouldn't actually expect, like outside doors on the inside.
Yeah. There's actually a place in Mullingar, a coffee shop, and all their doors inside are outside doors. And they like have little booths that are like doors, and you go in and you can sit down. I don't know if it's still going on. That was like 4 years ago when I was there after ice skating.
The one thing you'd hope for them is that while all the inside doors are outside doors, that all their outside doors are definitely outside doors and they're not inside doors, because you could get broken into pretty easily, I'd say, with an old inside door on the outside.
Have you seen this wheels versus doors joke?
Did I not send that to you? I think I sent that to you.
Did you send that to me? Did you send me the one about James Gordon? Talk about no.
James Gordon.
I wouldn't be a
James
big
Corden
fan.
or Gordon?
The fella that nobody liked in England, and then he went to America and everybody thought he was hilarious.
Oh yeah, James Corden. Yeah.
But they were talking about it's a tough one.
Yeah. So
Well, I think you have to define what is a wheel. Is something round a wheel? Like, can you call that like the wheel off your drum set?
well, I mean, if it serves the purpose of a wheel, like say inside that there's a little kind of what would you call that? It's a circle and the frame moves on it. It's not exactly a wheel. It's it's like a joint almost on the inside of it, but it's a circle and something moves on it. So I would class that as a wheel. Although then if you use that, sorry to cut across you, if you use that as your definition for what a wheel is, then if you take a tire or a wheel off a car and it's just sitting there not moving, is it still a wheel?
Or is it just something round on the floor?
Exactly. So
Well, I think that there's more things that have doors than there are things that have wheels. Is there?
Yeah.
Like, you go into your kitchen. There mightn't be any wheels in your kitchen, but there's a lot of doors.
yeah, but the thing I saw which interested me was the drawers all have wheels.
Oh, so those counted as wheels.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a wheel, definitely a wheel. So you see, you've got drawers. Obviously, you've got cars. But the other thing I heard someone else saying was like Matchbox cars and like
They have wheels.
Toy-
and
to-
models and stuff like that. Yeah.
toy tractors. I mean, we're not probably going to solve it today.
No, but you have wheels in your chair.
Yes,
I got the crap chair.
That's actually the more comfortable chair. Thank you very much.
But it doesn't adjust.
There's there's definitely not a door in that chair for sure, and no wheels. Are you one of these people that fidgets on chairs as you're on them? Do you have to always like be moving and stuff?
No, but I don't like a straight back.
Do you not?
No. Have you not seen the chair in my my car? I'm
that-
practically in the back of it.
Is that quite important, like posture?
Probably is eventually, but like that's where I've always been. Like,
Do you know what? I don't even
sit up
use the
straight.
back on this chair at all. I always sit straight up like that, just from playing drums, because we actually teach to sit that way.
well, when the chair is straight, I tend to roll my shoulders forward, but when it's back, you see, I'd have my shoulders pushed back. So
Right.
swings and roundabouts, Scotty.
You want to
Swings
show off
and roundabouts.
your chest.
Which has more swings or roundabouts?
No, don't go down that road. So I guess we could probably take a vote on that, the wheels versus doors, on the podcast. So
we can put a poll up on Instagram and see
Yeah.
what people want.
I think that's probably a good thing to do. Get some
Yeah,
feedback.
we
on that
broke.
one.
We hit a bit of a milestone. Look at us. Of 1,000 listens on Spotify.
Oh yeah,
So we're over 1,000 listens now.
yeah.
I get a bit confused about Acast. What is Acast? Their stats. I'm not sure. Instagram still hasn't taken off, unfortunately. Got a few views on TikTok though.
Oh, I didn't even know we were on TikTok.
No, well, I'm on TikTok. I just put something up on TikTok. So I just put 2 things up on TikTok. But,
so you're taking off on TikTok, doing those sexy little dances.
well, I don't know. We might do TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know. You see, it's algorithms and maths and seeing which is the easiest thing. Well, not the easiest thing, but that you'll get yourself out there quicker, I suppose. That's the thing about it. So I'm not sure which one it is.
My opinion would be that you need to do something just absolutely outrageous. So we need to go do a podcast on top of a roof somewhere in the middle of a town, and
Like U2.
Yeah, basically, or the Beatles or something like that.
Or Your Man in Yesterday, who was copying the Beatles.
Yeah,
That's actually a good movie.
yeah, great movie.
Like
Yeah, that's a great one.
Well, I like the Beatles songs anyway.
There's actually a John Lennon tribute on tonight in... It'll be too late, obviously, by the time people listen to it, he'll be gone. But in...
Well, can we make it?
I've actually got 2 tickets.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. My mum wanted to bring my dad, and then my dad wasn't arsed. So, yeah. It's in either the Bord Gosh Energy Theatre.
Oh, fancy.
It's like a big one. Like
Their ice cream up there is dear, though.
Yeah, it wouldn't be particularly where I go for ice cream, so I'd imagine.
You know, your man comes down with the
the
yoke, and you pass your money down, and he
Yeah.
passed me an ice cream. I was a little like Häagen-Dazs, was it? Or Ben and Jerry's.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked down the line waiting for my change, and no change came.
Oh. In fact, he was looking for more money. What's your opinion on bringing food into the cinema? So, do you know the way cinema food is always mildly overpriced?
Yeah, you see, I don't really eat that much in the cinema, to be honest.
Right.
What I like going to the cinema in Blanche because Starbucks is there.
Yeah.
And I always got like a caramel hot chocolate.
Yum.
And that was my treat going to cinema.
You really like sweet stuff, I noticed. On your Instagram
You can take that back right now.
I was totally creeping on you during the week. I was like, I better get to know this guy if I'm going to be sitting in a room with him.
What are you looking at?
But you're...
Sometimes I go for ice cream. So what?
Yeah,
I'm
not saying it's a bad thing. All I'm saying is that it to me you're in good shape, if I don't say so myself.
Right.
But it would. I've always had the opinion that I can't really have shit stuff.
Well, I suppose the thing is with me is it's not at home, so I have to go somewhere for it.
Right. Okay.
So like on a Saturday, Sunday, might go for ice cream, might go for pancakes somewhere. But then the stuff that I have at home, there's not really sweet stuff or anything.
Right.
And I think sometimes that's where people fall down, because when it's handy, you just go and have it.
Yeah, like Crunchy Nut cornflakes.
Well, I do like country nut cornflakes. People are surprised when I said, like, that's my treat during the week. I might have 1 or 2 bowls, 1 or 2 nights during the week.
Oh, just 1 or 2 nights, not every night, like.
No, not every night. No.
Oh fuck! I better stop doing that.
Because it is actually a ridiculous amount of sugar in it.
Okay, I'll stop then.
I can't remember what we were gonna. I feel like there was something I was meant to say at the start, and now I've forgotten.
About what we were going to talk about today.
Yeah, because surprisingly enough, what we've talked about for the last... Where's the time on that joke?
Down the very bottom there. 17 minutes we're in.
Hasn't been the topic.
Yeah. So
we actually went ridiculously overtime. It was an hour and a half episode last week.
Well, you know.
But that's where we were. We were doing the correspondence and stuff. Stephen Pearl got onto us, said the last episode was really good.
It was by Stephen.
Yeah. I think though that the duration of podcast just depends on the flow of the podcast. So once you're talking and it's going nice, that's grand. And if it goes for an hour and a half, fair enough, because it's like good quality that you're going. But if you had a topic that wasn't an hour and a half worthy of a topic and you try to draw it out, that's where it likes get really boring to listen to.
Yeah.
So like some of ours has been 50 minutes, some of them have been a few minutes over the hour, and then some has been an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because the only reason I was trying to keep them on an hour was for Instagram, but as long as there's one every so often, just to throw up.
We try and hit that mark once every like 12 episodes or
yeah,
something.
just because people probably, it's easier to listen to things on Instagram. So if they listen to them on Instagram, then they might go Spotify.
Would you listen to something on Instagram, like a full podcast?
Well, the thing is, if you listen to the first few minutes, you're like, oh, that's grand. Or skip into it a bit more to find out what it's about. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, that's good. And then go find it on Spotify.
Yeah.
People might notice that we've also rebranded the logo.
I saw that. I noticed that myself. We're going dark.
Yeah, well, I read somewhere like yellow on black is meant to pop more. So I thought that might catch the eye a little bit more. And like I said then, to change the JB Waffle Hour to match the theme song at the start.
It's all very streamlined. We're like a
Hopefully.
brand new Formula One car. Have you? Oh, sorry. We're gonna go way off. Do you want to talk about the topic?
Yeah.
We go topic. So I hope it's the same topic that we have, because
Oh my God.
we were talking about a lot of topics, and then we had a little bit of a gap in between.
We kind of got a rough topic for the next 4, is it?
Yeah.
And hopefully a couple of random ones if we get out and about, maybe.
I hope I have the same topic as you.
Shoot.
Okay.
Shoot from the hip.
So you don't mean to shoot from the hip, boy. You'll end up with a baby. When we were young is what I have. Things that we missed from when we were young.
Who sings that song?
The Killers.
Oh, Killers.
Would you like me to sing it for you?
No, but we have the instruments around us if you wanted to play the song live.
I could actually play you the song. It's in our set. But am I right? Is it the same topic?
Yeah, because
thank God.
what we were thinking about, right? So we mentioned house parties on, just briefly touched on it. So we are actually doing a little bit of work in the background,
Yeah.
trying to get just people that we knew that was at that house party, and then any other house parties. And indeed, if anybody was at any house parties when they were younger and they missed them, or anything interesting happened, let us know. So maybe in a couple of weeks' time we'll do a full one of a house party episode.
I like how you called it that house party.
Well, we don't want to give everything away. People not going to listen to that episode.
No, I think everyone knows what house party we were talking about.
Yeah. So we might.
Yeah.
Stephen actually said, I don't think Stephen was at it. Stephen actually said he wasn't cool enough to go to those things.
Well, he can relive it now through
Yeah.
this medium.
There's a couple of house parties that stand out, so that's what we'll go through for me anyway, and I'm sure you maybe have a couple as well. And then if anybody else wants to chime in, they can fire ahead. So we might, like, even though there were things that when we were young that we kind of missed and stuff, we might leave that for today though.
Okay.
I keep that for another one.
Yeah. We can go a lot deeper on that, I think.
How far are we going to go back? Because I don't miss having to be the person that changes the channel on the TV.
Yeah, which we previously talked about, which led you to your fitness career, which we also talked about.
Surprise, yeah.
Speaking of fitness, I went back running last weekend. You never asked me how I got on last weekend.
Oh, why? What did you do last weekend?
Well, nothing really, but I just like being asked. No, I started back running again. I'm doing the whole house move thing and the back garden, and the roof is on the shed finally. And no, I don't mean finally as in
that's just for the puppy, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Not just for the puppy. That's a member
My
of the
puppy
family.
took his bed out and
I saw
destroyed
that,
it.
yeah.
I got him a new one today.
Right.
If he, that's it. That's the final one. If he destroys that one, he's not getting any more. So I got him a bed with sheep on it, and it's like 1, 2, 3. So I'm thinking, like, learning how to count sheep in while he's asleep, or bored, he can practice. So when he goes out to the field, he's like, "Oh, I recognise those from my bed."
Oh yeah, that's another thing. They obviously don't. They can't count because they'd be asleep the whole time when they're herding sheep, I suppose. Yeah. So I went back running, and I'd kind of, because last 4 or 5 weeks I haven't been near the gym, haven't done any fitness stuff whatsoever, because I'm just doing loads of garden work, and I thought that was physical enough. But I thought I was going to be terribly out of shape, but I actually did all right. I got 26 minutes, 5k, which is...
Did you go and say 26 kilometres there? I was like,
no,
that's pretty good, Scotty.
Jesus, the chafing. 26 minutes for 5k, which was grand. It's all right.
It's solid though, considering that you haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
There are some people that would start, and by no means, like, it's not a bad thing, that would start back and be longer than that.
Yeah.
It all depends what you want, because if
you
you're just doing it for fitness, it doesn't really matter how long it takes, as long as you're moving.
That's
if
the thing,
you want to go maybe compete in a race and have a goal in your head to do like under 25 minutes, under 20 minutes, which would be actually exceptionally good. Or that. But them road race league, that always would be good. Now I don't know if all of them are coming back maybe this summer, but you usually see the same people at all of them, and you have a chat, and sometimes you get free t-shirts, sometimes you get free barbecue and stuff for entering. They're always good. I think I might have mentioned them before actually.
Have you done any of the parkrun stuff?
Do you get free barbecue?
No. So they
I have not done them.
So parkrun, I think it's like a nationwide thing, but they do. There's one in Trim, there's one in Navan, there's one like in Leixlip, all over the country, and every Saturday morning people get together and do.
They're just the 3 places,
Yeah, that's the 3 places that I've been in this country. probably actually has over the last fucking 2 years. But they get together and do 5Ks every Saturday morning. So everyone does a 5K, and you have a little piece of paper, and it's your code. You scan it at the start, and then you do your 5K and get your time and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, nice. And they
really
don't give give you a chip or anything, no? For your runner or anything, no?
No, I've only done one, and then it kind of closed down with the pandemic. I haven't gone back yet, so I'm not sure of the exact ins and outs. But it's every Saturday morning in the Porchfields.
I think groups like that are nice though.
Yeah,
to go run with people.
Definitely, yeah. You know what? I like the group aspect of running, but I love running alone. Is the other thing I like.
Well,
disappearing for a while.
I used to run a lot, maybe just for kind of sport to be fit for that, and doing 5Ks and stuff. And then the year that I stopped playing football for a while because I had practice and stuff at the end of the year, with like aerobics and stuff.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to get injured, and that's when I done a lot of the Mead Road Race League races, like. But then I kind of went away from that because you're back playing football and stuff, and that was grand. I don't think I'd like to go back running. What I do like is cycling.
Yeah. Paul Caldwell, you know Paul. So he's crazy into cycling, like absolutely nuts.
Does he not do like the mountain biking, cross country?
He does, yeah, but he does road cycling as well.
Oh.
And he's just every other weekend he's away somewhere. He'll be in like Malta, or you just see him in different places, like, and winning trophies and all this sort of stuff.
I just go out on my own for an hour and a bit.
Well, yeah, that's good too.
Because it's definitely easier on the body, like.
Oh, for sure.
And obviously you just have to give more time to it, because obviously a 25-minute run is more intense than 25-minute cycle, like. So cycling is definitely minimum an hour.
Here's the other thing that I saw during the week was obviously you've got high intensity training, high that hit.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
High intensity interval training.
So
there's 2 eyes in there.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the other eye was. So that, like, the 2 eyes.
Sorry, that might have been more visual than this.
Yeah, we need to get a video going for this podcast. So I saw a thing that said that if you combine with, say, weight training, that actually walking on a treadmill is as effective. Say like a half an hour walk on a treadmill would be as effective combined with weight training as going for a half an hour run on a treadmill.
It depends what you want to do.
Lose weight quickly.
If you want to lose weight, diet and high intensity walking.
High intensity walking?
Yes.
Not running?
No.
So we're getting really into the fitness stuff here, but this is good though. That's good though. It's good.
This is the wrong topic altogether.
We can save that topic.
Now, people are free to correct me, obviously, because I'm not an expert. I just know a few things.
Yeah.
Because I never claim to be an expert, because you're always learning and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But if you walk, like, they call it like steady state cardio.
Mm-hmm.
So if you walk at a good intensity, now I'm not talking browsing River Island walking.
Right.
Like, if you're on a treadmill, it has to be incline. Like, you have to be but you're at like a level. You get to a certain level that's tough, and if you can maintain that for a while, whether it's the walking speed or whatever, then you kind of burn more calories than going for running, because you're just using different different like systems, like. So like the lower you are, they say like the more fat, right? So when you're running or you're cycling for a long time, you'll use more carbohydrates. But when you're going like for a steady thing, you'll use more fat, because fat takes more oxygen to burn.
Right.
So that way, when you're doing like really high intensity, like sprints, or you're going for a long run or a long cycle, you won't be able to use your fat stores, because or your excess fat, or whatever you want to call it, because that takes more oxygen.
Right, yeah.
And then your body needs the more oxygen and pump the blood around, because it's a higher intensity workout.
Right.
So it'll start burning your carbs then. And that's why people say, oh, you shouldn't eat carbs or whatever. But carbs is your main energy source if you're playing sport or going for a cycle or whatever, so you need that, like.
Yeah.
So if you went for like an hour walk and you corrected your diet, and your diet was fairly on point, and I mean like actually on point, not you pretending that it's on point.
Yeah.
Because if you like say, oh, I had porridge this morning and it was like 30 grams of porridge, I don't know how much that is, 30 grams of porridge, and then you weigh that and it's actually 70 grams of porridge, and you're putting in like a glass and a half of maple syrup, like, you know.
Okay, there. Right.
So you have to be honest with yourself and actually put down what you're doing, because if you're bringing it to someone, you know, you'll end up having like a really good week because I'm going to hand that into someone or something. I want it to look good.
Yeah.
But that's not a true reflection of what you're doing, because a nutritionist or a dietitian or whatever might look at that and be like, oh yeah, like you're fairly good, like your calorie intake and your output, like you're in a calorie deficit or whatever, and but that is you like actually trying to impress them, which makes no sense because they can't help you if you're not truthful with them. Because like some personal trainers and some coaches, grand, they have maybe a dietitian degree or a nutritionist degree, but like a lot of personal trainers will give out dietitian and nutritional advice when they done a little subject on their personal trainer course. And like nutrition is so detailed. Like that's why when people ask me, as in the first thing I say is my go-to response is like, I'm not a nutritionist. I can give you some general tips, and which like basically most people already know when I say it to them. So you have to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. So like if you're say your basic metabolic rate is 1,600 calories, and that's just to stay alive, that's not doing anything, and then obviously you're going to work, you're walking, whatever you're doing, then you have to take in more calories. Depending on how active lifestyle you are, you might need to take in 2,200 calories. So if you're taking in 2,200 calories but you're only burning 2,000, then you're taking in 200 extra calories every day, and over the course of like weeks and months, that is going to be extra calories being added on. Just
makes sense. It's math. I think that's, for me anyway, a lot of what it confuses me basically is the numbers that are involved in it. People talking about you're tracking this, tracking that, the amount of fat that's in this, the amount of fat that's in numbers, and I just kind of I want to get away from that. Is that the first kind of step, is to go to a nutritionist and go, what should I be eating for my body type? Well,
like some people that I've told to do a food diary for a week, and then they'll actually see themselves. They're like, oh, that's a lot. But it being a lot and it not being enough, they're equally as bad. So if you're not taking in enough, then you're not going to have the energy to do your training and improve. And then you see, it's touch and go whether it's a real thing or not, from things I read, but that your body like holds on to a lot of energy and stuff because it doesn't know, like, am I going to get fed tomorrow or not? And if you're constantly like slightly hungry the whole time.
There's a name for that, isn't there? Is it it's not starvation mode, it's what is it? I can't remember. There is a name for that though. I've read about that. Yeah.
So like that's a thing as well. So people think, oh look, I'm taking in like 1,200 calories, and I'm like, yeah, but you're not 4 years old. 1,200 calories isn't enough. Like.
Your body gets used to that though as well, I'd imagine.
Oh, but you'd have no energy and you wouldn't be able to sleep and you'd be constantly fatigued. I mean, no adult should be taking in 1,200 calories a day. And then there's a good thing on Facebook, I think it's a meme or whatever, it's on Instagram, and you might see it, and it's like, Monday salad, Tuesday salad, Wednesday salad, Thursday salad, Friday 7 pizzas and pancakes.
That's the other thing. I see The Rock talking about cheat days. And he has a day where he just kind of eats whatever probably doesn't eat whatever he wants, I imagine. It doesn't work like that though, does it? I mean, you can't just go bananas one day.
So it's everything is over your week. So like if you are really good with your calories, and say so 7 days in a week, say you're meant to take in 2,000 for easy maths, so I don't make a fool of myself, which is probably still isn't enough, right? But anyway, so say you take in 2,000 calories every day. So 7 2s is 14. So that's 14,000 calories in a week.
Right.
But then if that's your limit or that's our target or whatever, well then you say, well, I'm going out for dinner Saturday, so I'll try and cut back on Friday and maybe knock a few off that and maybe a little bit off Thursday. And you could still have the 14,000 calories in the week, but you've gone out and enjoyed yourself or whatever on Saturday. But then don't get bogged down. Like if you blow yourself out of it on a Saturday, like, so what? Like you get back on it.
I think that's the thing that stops people. Isn't
it depends really? Now. Of course, if you started on Thursday and went mad on Saturday, and you only done well on Thursday and Friday, that's no good. But it's like everything with weights, right? So if you're in the gym and you miss a week or you miss a session, that's not going to have any effect.
No.
2 weeks, a little bit. 6 weeks, you're gone. You're back to start. Just remember that. So
it's very quick, isn't it, coming out the other side?
Like so. But then again, it all depends on how long you're training. So say if you've been doing whatever training you're doing for 10 years, and you miss 6 weeks, you'll get back quicker than someone who's only at it for a year. So all that experience and stuff comes in as well.
And then so breakfast. What do you usually have for breakfast?
I have porridge.
Oh, we talked about that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you say you put a bit of like protein powder in it.
I tried that once.
I've discussed this before, but I'm purely eggs. That's probably bad, is it? To have eggs just every day, without fail.
Well, there's a lot of cholesterol in eggs. Like that's, I think eggs are good. It's like everything in moderation.
Right.
I put syrup in my
Eggs.
porridge. Yeah. Well, I suppose it could. It's Everest syrup. It's like 0 calorie. I used to get is it Simply Fit Food or Simply? Oh crap, can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But it comes from England, and then it was taking too long to come, and then the price went up. So Everest dispatches from like somewhere on Blanche, like.
And the taste of that stuff, is it actually good, or is it like it's healthy but it'll do?
It'll do, yeah. So like it makes the porridge taste nicer, but obviously it's maple syrup, but it's not like maple syrup.
Right, yeah.
So, but it's not like terrible either. Well, I don't find it anyway. It's a little bit like more watery, and it's not sticky like, but it's just like a caramel flavour.
I
that
suppose
you put on your porridge,
get used
like.
to it, don't you? Really over
Yeah,
time.
that's it. It's the same with protein powders and all. I've slightly gotten used to them now. I wouldn't take many protein powders anymore. Maybe whey protein the odd time during the week or whatever. But like at the start, I was like everybody. Like I had a pre-workout, I had an intro workout, I had my whey protein for after and everything. But it's just all a waste of money.
Right. Okay. Gimmicky.
Oh yeah, like the only thing you really get good is if you want to take creatine is really good, or whey protein. Everything after that is pretty much a waste of time because some of these pre-workouts, right? They're called BCAAs, and they say, oh, they've the BCAAs in it, which is your branched chain amino acids.
Okay.
But they only have some of them. And as in effect a chain, in order for them to work, you need the whole chain.
Right, okay.
So basically most of these pre-workouts is just purely the caffeine is what gives you the drive.
Yeah.
And it does work, but it's like everything. People will take pre-workout like every session. And it's like everything. If your body gets used to it, then you might have to take more. And then where are you? And it's very like citrusy, like and all. And did you see the people dry scooping? People, do not dry scoop your pre-workout. If you want to waste money and buy pre-workout, go buy pre-workout. But you get a little bottle shaker, you put your water in it, you put your scoop in, and you shake it. It's not that hard.
One of those boys.
Yeah. Very good.
I only use that for water.
But that's all it is because it's a concentrated thing you're putting in. Number one, it's very like acidic, so it's going to affect your teeth. Then all this acid is going down pure into your stomach, and it's made to be diluted, like. And plus you get this big boost of like caffeine at once. When it's mixed and diluted down, it's like more a kind of slow release into the system. And you shoot that down, your heart rate is going to skyrocket. So if your max heart rate, which is 220 minus your age, is
that'd be a good name if you're going to change your name, by the way. Max heart rate. Sorry, continue. Go on.
And so say your max heart rate is, I don't know, 180. And your resting heart rate could be nice, around 70 or whatever. And you go work out, and then you hit a top one on your workout, maybe 128, 130. Whatever you're doing, deadlifts or something. If you're doing sprints and stuff, probably go higher than that. But then if that's grand. So if you take like a Monster or a Red Bull or pre-workout, too much of it like that, a dry scoop, because when it's diluted down it's grand, and you do that, then you've already elevated your resting heart rate. So you're going into that workout and your heart rate could be already over 100. So where is it going then when you're working out? Then are you going to hit 150 on a workout that your heart rate should really only be hitting like 120, 130 on?
Yeah.
That's not good for your heart.
I mean, people were fit before all of this stuff ever came out.
Yeah, it's basically it's a $1 billion industry, is the supplement industry, and everybody. So if you're watching a video and like they're talking about whatever exercise or whatever, and they're slipping in that you should drink it, they're probably getting paid for that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And they don't really give a shit as long as they're getting their money for it. And if loads of people, because like there's probably more like beginners in the world in the gym and fitness than there are like experienced people or whatever. And that's where it's all based for. So when you're starting, it's like everything else. You Google, oh, what do we need to get going, or what's good to start, or whatever, like, you know.
Yeah.
And then it just goes into buying all that things.
You'd snowball.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, people want to get fit, but a lot of people want to do it quicker and cut corners. And,
Yeah, there's you
know.
just can't. It's about consistency over a long time, and I don't mean over a couple of weeks. I mean like years.
Years,
like,
yeah.
You know, and then you see you're always going to plateau as well, like because you'll never improve as quick as you do when you're a complete beginner. Like,
Yeah.
the only thing is
Yeah,
when you learn exercises and you go away from them, you'll always know how to do them.
Yeah.
It's just a weight that might go down when you go back to do it. Like,
I always found that going into the gym, I'm in the gym in Navan there, but I always found that I'm a little bit intimidated to go and use some machines or ask people how to do certain exercises.
Yeah.
So I'll just stick to stuff that I know,
Yeah,
like
that's-
jogging
yeah,
or
that's what a lot of people do. to be fair.
elliptical, or I know how to use that machine that you sit on and you do sit-ups. I'm coming back and forward away from the mic here. You do the sit-ups on.
Yeah.
I know how to use that one, but I'd be scared shitless of sitting down and some like gorgeous young one looking at me like lifting my leg on a machine that you're actually meant to like lift your arms on.
Well, to be fair, that the very first gym I was in was actually Ora in Navan when we were about 19, I think it was. Me, John Doran, like I think it was, and Paul Cross went over, and that was the same. The mezzanine level we walked up and it was all the free weights, and we just looked at all the lads there and walked back down, and we went on the cross trainer, the elliptical, and we went on the treadmill and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't in the gym again until I was in Athlone. I learned a bit there, alright, and then I started on my fitness journey. But that is one of the main things, is like the lack of knowing. Like if you go in and you know you're doing something right, it doesn't matter whether someone looks at you.
Yeah.
And you could, you know, if people are kind of might look over to you, they mightn't even be thinking that you're doing it wrong. You know, a lot of times, like you see people in the gym and they're like, "Oh, fair play to them." You know, they're going after it. That's what they could be thinking.
Yeah.
They might, but the person themselves be thinking, "Oh, they're looking at me. What am I doing wrong? Is this right?" So if you have confidence in the workout that you're doing and that you're doing it right, that helps a lot then when you're in the gym, because weights are important. Like,
It'd be unbelievably worthwhile to go into a gym and just go get a personal trainer for a week.
Yeah.
Or a month, just to show you how to do stuff.
Like, you really have no excuse, because the amount of videos and stuff now, obviously there's a lot of crap ones as well. Like, don't follow V-Shred.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but
he's a dose.
right. Is he actually a lad that wears a t-shirt that has muscles on it, but he actually
used to
doesn't
be
have any
like
muscles?
on the US volleyball team or something, and then this company employs him, and he's an idiot. But yet he has like millions of subscribers, but yet he's an idiot, and he'll try to sell you stuff, and people will probably buy it.
Yeah, he's just figured out a way of advertising, I guess.
Athlete X is probably one of the best ones on YouTube if you're going to look at videos.
Right. What was it? Athlete X?
Athlete X, yeah.
Athlete X.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that. Or I could just...
Jeff Cavalier, that's your man's name.
Did you ever see the... there's a motivational guy... Oh, God. I'll actually have to give his name a shout out. He does a lot of gym stuff, but he used to be in prison.
Oh.
Did you ever see this guy? He does motivational speaking now, but he does it from the point of view of being in the prison yard.
Oh, wow.
Let me see if I can find his name. Can you, if you're in a gym, this has gone just mad gym talk, but that's fine.
Yeah, I think you might have mentioned the topic there a while ago, and I said something about the TV, and then we just went off track altogether.
We had so many segues. We could have segued into that there, but we didn't. Can you see, if you're in a gym, can you tell if someone is taking steroids to look at them? Okay,
so steroids is a funny thing, right? So you could see someone that has really good genetics and isn't taking steroids, but has worked really hard and looked really well, and you might think maybe he's on steroids. But there could also be a lad who doesn't look that great, who is only starting and could be on steroids.
Right. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to maybe the bodybuilders and the lads on YouTube and stuff like that, when you're looking at them and are they taking stuff, some of them are probably obvious. Like in fairness, The Rock probably has in some time in his life But I love The Rock, so I don't want to think about that him about that.
Yeah. It's
because the man's in his 40s and like he's huge.
yeah, and like the likes of, I know Joe Rogan has actually said that he takes, isn't there, what's that thing that he takes? That it's like testosterone replacement therapy. What's that called? I've said the letters, but I can't think what it is. TRT. There it is. I just spelled it out for myself.
But like, I have no problem if people take steroids, as long as like you're not in the Olympics and you're not in like a powerlifting competition. As long as you're not getting an advantage and
competition.
Yeah, and claiming that you're natural. Like, there's loads of people, and it's in their bio, all natural or whatever, and they are not natural.
Yeah.
And I don't care, lie, whatever, people want to follow you, whatever. I have my opinion on you, and I'm not going to follow you. But like, I don't really care if they do or not.
Clearly, they're dangerous.
Oh yeah, they are. Like, I mean, even if you use them correctly, you know.
But is there a correct way to, like, what is the purpose of them?
Well, they just make you train harder.
Right, okay.
So like that, I mean, you might be able to train that bit longer or recover that bit faster.
Right, okay.
But you still have to put in the work. That's why I don't care whether people use them, because your man on Netflix, what was that? He was a cyclist. And
Lance Armstrong?
No, not him.
That's the only guy that I know that cycles a bike, apart from Paul Caldwell.
He's a bollock anyway. No, this other guy, and he was doing like a documentary. Now the documentary went a different way than it was, so he was like a really good amateur cyclist,
right?
And he wanted to see could he get better if he took steroids, but
right.
He was doing it as a documentary, so he's quite open about it.
So it's like that McDonald's guy, except for steroids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so he was in this thing, and he was training away and taking the steroids, but the lad wasn't getting any more muscly because he wasn't doing weights.
Right.
But yet he was able to recover quicker from his long cycles.
Right.
He was able to go that little bit longer. But sure, then what happened was in the next year when he went to the race, he broke his chain. So it didn't really matter. He went down a different thing about how the Russians filed like loads of like urine samples and cheated in the Olympics. So his documentary went down a different rabbit hole altogether.
Oh, I know the one you're on about. It was, what was it called?
I can't remember what it was called.
It was all about Sochi and the...
Yeah, and like the KGB worked out how to open the thing without anybody knowing and switching out the urine and stuff.
Phoenix, is it the Phoenix? Oh, okay, hold on. You have to look that up and actually get that name.
So like, you still have to put in loads of work. That's why, okay, you can say, right, you're taking steroids, fair enough. But you still have to put in a lot of work. So you still have to give them credit for that. But just be honest, it makes no difference to me.
Yeah. So I'll just get the name of this. Oh yeah, the Icarus.
Oh, that's the name.
Yeah, that was fascinating.
Chris Herrera as well. Don't follow him on YouTube. He's useless.
Right. Okay. Do you want to just get the whole list of people out of the way? Don't follow Chris Rock. That guy was called. The other fella I was talking about was Wes Watson. If you haven't seen him, his channel's called what was it? Penitentiary Life Wes Watson.
Oh, it's YouTube, like?
YouTube, yeah.
Oh.
It's hilarious and scary. So give that a watch. So yeah, will we go back to our topic that we initially wanted?
I think we'll just go into the review because we're talking about fitness anyway. So.
Yeah, it kind of segues, doesn't it?
So we'll circle back to that other topic maybe another day. Yeah.
So this all started by what now looks like a positive advertisement on your Facebook page.
Yeah, so what happened was I was waiting for you. Was that 2 episodes ago? I was just sitting at the laptop just waiting for you to come on or whatever.
Yeah.
I think, was it when your laptop was updating or something?
Yeah. Oh, that was that day.
Yeah, I was just scrolling down through Facebook. I seen this ad, Grandma Crunch. And I gave them a little bit of stick, which I have to take back and apologise.
Right, could you confirm what the stick was? You were talking about the price of it, really.
Yeah, so I didn't go into it really to find out because you had come on and all that, and I seen like this box of cereal for €31.
Yep.
And it has 248 grams in it. And I was like, 248 grams. Like, your normal box of cornflakes, you can get, like, is it a 480, a 720, and a kilo if you really like cornflakes.
Yeah.
And they're like €5 or €6.
Yeah.
And I know it's protein and extra protein, but like loads of things have protein in it, but that doesn't mean that they're healthy.
Yeah, sure.
You know, or whatever. I was like, God, that's dear. And then I think it was the next day I was looking on. I said, sure, I'll go back and look at it. I said, just €31 for the box. Sure, for the podcast, sure, I'll spend it or whatever. And then I realised then that you actually get 4 boxes.
Yeah.
For €31.
So still I've just after doing the math there, $7.75 a box.
A box. Yeah. So I got the variety box. So I got 4 different flavours. Or if you like one flavour, you can get 4 the same flavours.
Yeah.
Now I will say the cardboard that the box is made out of is very flimsy.
Right. Well, like, I mean, it's not something you're going to be keeping
No.
or hanging around with. So
no.
I'd imagine actually, is that box, if you look at it, does it have, is it like recycled cardboard maybe or something? Like, can we just reiterate that we're not sponsored? There's no sponsorship here from Grandma's Crunch.
Oh, we have to say that. Sorry, yes. I did spend my 31-something euro getting these boxes myself.
This is Bertie money. It's not it's not podcast money.
I do love that the granny is doing something different on each box.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
these are the coca ones.
Yum.
And the granny is trying to bend the spoon. I think it's funny.
It is very cool. I like the drawings as well. They're deadly.
Yeah. Now, the only thing is, these came from Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's I don't know if it's an English company, but for European order fulfillment, they come from Poland. So I did get an email and it was in Polish, so that's unfortunate. But DPD brought them. So DPD Poland brought them, sent them to Ireland, and then DPD Ireland brought them to my door.
Fair play, lads.
So you had said 7 something. What did you say? 7 something.
$7.75 for a box.
Yeah, I can't remember whether there's postage on that or not. I can't remember exactly what
I'd imagine so. For something that cheap, you'd have to pay postage, I would imagine.
You do a bit of a filler there, Scotty, and I'll get up my email.
So we mistakenly then contacted Kevin Daly, who, not the Kevin Daly that I know, but another Kevin Daly in Dublin. But it did allow me to contact Kevin and get back in touch with him again. And ask him why we weren't friends on Instagram anymore.
You did that?
We did one. I did mention this in the podcast. I didn't actually ask him that, but
I can't find it now. Order. Yeah, here we go. So €4.95.
$4.95 postage.
So €36.40 it cost in total for four boxes.
Right. Okay. So you're still up around the €7-8 mark. Now the box, for anyone who isn't good with numbers, which would be me, I'm explaining this for myself, listening back to the podcast. The box is about the size of, say, the Cocoa Pops, the small Cocoa Pops boxes.
Yeah, it's this one, yeah.
Not variety packs now, but
the next one up.
The next one up, yeah. Not the big ones, the smaller ones.
It says on it that it's 8 servings in 248 grams. Do your maths there, Scotty.
Sorry, go on again.
248 divided by 8.
248 divided by 8. Mr. McDermott, look at me doing maths on a podcast. I told you I'd do it. 31
grams. So you're meant to have 31 grams is one serving.
31 grams.
31 grams seems very small.
Yeah.
Now, I have never weighed out my stuff. All I know is the little scoop I have for my porridge is 20 grams. And I take 2 scoops of that in porridge.
Right. So
40 grams of porridge. 30. And that's meant to be 31 grams. That's very small. Like, I don't know, are these meant to be snacks? Or are these, like, actually meant to keep you going?
You know, you'd want to be earning some amount of money to be able to afford to eat a bowl of it every morning. Do you want to open them up?
There's eight bowls in that box.
There's not 8 bowls in that box. You'd want to be fairly conservative.
Well, if you're weighing them out. So we'll do the figures on it first, right? So
okay.
It says 0 grams of sugar.
Right. Automatically, I'm not interested.
That must be 0 grams of added sugar, is there? Because it says here carbohydrates, of which sugars is 17 grams per 31 gram serving.
Right.
There's 16 grams of protein in it.
So you got me interested again. There is sugar in it.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Excellent. Right.
So 16 grams of protein in it per bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I brought with me, I had no fulfilled bars left at home, but I have brought an Everest bar with me.
Another advertisement.
And this is 40 grams. Oh, sorry, I brought a beep bar with me.
We don't have a beep button yet. I can make one. I can make a little beep button.
And so this is a 40 gram Everest bar. It's the hazelnut one.
Right.
And it has 10 grams of protein. And they're €2. So
10 grams.
One bowl of Grandma Crunch has more protein in it than an Everest bar, and they're €2. So if you go,
So it's €6 for 3 of those bars to make up what you'd make in one bowl of those of Grandma's Crunch. So you're going for 31 grams.
yeah, so
per serving.
you need 3 bars.
3 of those,
So
and
that's €6.
there's probably a good bit of sugar in those, lads. Is there, the bars? It looks delicious. I want to eat it.
They're 0.5 grams of sugar per bar.
Right.
So you had 3 bars.
I mean,
It's 1.5.
yeah, I could eat those Everest bars all day, in fairness, but I don't think it'll help me that much.
No, it's like everything else though. They are snacks. Like, just because they're extra protein in it, there's still other stuff in it. Like, I wouldn't be like eating a load of them every day.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
of course, you feel better and they're a little bit better than, say, a toffee crisp or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But,
That's the thing.
you know, if a toffee crisp is going to bring you joy to your life at 10 o'clock at night with a cup of tea, have the toffee crisp. Like, if of course, your calories are in check and your diet's in check as well and you've had a good day.
There's a fine old balance there, isn't there? Like you say, whatever brings your life that little bit of
Yeah.
joy, because as you say, anything could happen in your day.
It's a thing though that, right, if you have 12 toffee crisps in a day,
Yeah.
that's too much joy.
Right. So
You know,
much joy.
Or if you're drinking like a litre of Coke every day,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Oh, there's another topic. Now, actually, do you want to try those?
Yeah, well, that was the
Okay,
deal. We're
well,
going to do a full review, so we'll do a little
I'll
taste review.
segue into I
They're a little bit bigger looking than. Oh, okay. So the plastics is quite good, and the box wasn't great.
yeah, you could make yourself a
They're a
nice
little bit bigger than
little hat out of it, maybe.
than Cocoa Pops.
Bigger than Cocoa Pops, you
Yeah,
think?
the balls.
A little bit more. Are you thinking of, like, the Nesquik balls?
They're bigger than Cocoa Pops.
Oh, they're big. Yeah, they're like the size of the Nesquik.
Oh, yes,
type.
sorry.
They're Nesquik-y type shape, size.
They smell like Cocoa Pops.
Oh, right. That's not a good sign for something that's meant to be healthy-ish. Oh, crunch test. There's a good crunch off them.
That is a good crunch, and not too hard either. That's a good crunch.
It is Grandma's crunch. It's in the name, in fairness.
Because some things you get protein, they're very chalky
Yeah.
because of whatever the extra protein is.
What I was going to
You
say
gave me a
was...
spoon. I was going to buy it. I was going to bring my own spoon.
No, I set you up properly. So I was going to say that Coke Zero, Diet Coke. I stopped drinking Coke years ago because I noticed one of my friends did it.
That 31 grams?
Let me see. Oh yeah, that's 31 exactly. I'd say, yeah. I don't have a clue.
Here, do you want?
But so a friend of mine.
How do we do this? We're too far away.
Right, hold on. I'll just go away from the mic. Hold on. There we go.
Excellent,
so
excellent.
a friend of mine years ago had a little bit of weight. He decided to stop drinking Coke because he was drinking Coke obsessively.
Which isn't great.
No, not at all. But he stopped drinking Coke, and the amount of weight that he dropped was ridiculous. Didn't do any extra exercise, nothing like that. He walked up and down to work or whatever, but he dropped so much weight. And I was like, oh my God, okay, right, I'm not drinking Coke ever again.
Oh, there's loads of sugar in it. I have a story to tell you when you're finished.
Ridiculous. But so then I stopped drinking Coke for ages, and then another friend of mine, the lads in Wednesday Night Mass had Coke Zero in their Coke fridge, and they're like, there's zero...
They're very crunchy.
They look very crunchy. You've definitely got a grandma crunch going on there. Load of Coke Zero in their fridge, and it said zero sugar. I was like, I'll taste one anyway. And they taste just as good, if not better, than the original Coke.
It tastes the same. Because
Yeah.
Coke enthusiasts or Coke traditionalists would say that it doesn't taste the same.
No, I don't. Well, it tastes a little bit different, but not bad different though.
The only time I get Coke is when I'm on holidays because I can't... The milk when you're out foreign isn't great. So I get Coke in restaurants. It's just the handiest thing to say.
Yeah.
I very rarely get Coke in Ireland or that. The odd time I might get it if I was in the cinema or that. But that'd be it.
Right. And so, what was? Do you want to continue eating, or do you want to tell me your story about Coke?
Oh yeah.
This is good. This is quickly turned into ASMR, AMSR.
We might open up the podcast to new listeners maybe that likes hearing people eat over audio. They've done a study on Coke and with Coke Zero and like normal Coke, and the body couldn't tell the difference. So it had like the same reaction to the Coke Zero as it did the normal Coke.
In terms of what,
A
like
spike
energy
in,
levels?
No, spiking your insulin and stuff like.
Right,
Even though
okay.
there's no sugar in it.
Right. So all the benefit, in air quotes, of Coke,
Yeah.
but
It's,
no
it's like
sugar.
everything else. If you have like a bottle a week, I'm sure that's alright.
Yeah.
As long as it's a normal bottle, it's not like a 4-litre bottle. I don't
Yeah.
know if they come in 4-litre bottles.
And definitely not every day. And I wouldn't imagine that Coke Zero is very good for you every single day either.
No.
Because they can become fiercely addictive.
I think you should have a good variety of things as well. And like that, if you want a toffee crisp, you want ice cream or you want a bit of cake, it's just that make sure this isn't daily. That's all you're looking for.
Yeah.
What do you think of the flavour? Do you think you have 31 grams? There's not.
No, I don't.
Like, we're
I don't
after
have
taking
31
2
grams, no.
bowls. There's not 6 bowls left in that.
No, not at all.
I think we might have went, and like any less than that wouldn't be a bowl.
I only took like half a bowl.
Yeah,
Just to see.
because if this is a bowl, I'm eating crunchy nuts.
Oh yeah.
So the
Pile
crunchy
it.
nuts are up over that bowl.
Yeah, but you get lots in the crunchy nut.
Now the only thing is, I don't know if these will keep you full because the extra protein and stuff in them.
Yeah,
But they're all right. Like
taste wise, they're actually grand.
Yeah.
There's not like an instant kind of sugar hit that you get from like the likes of Cocoa Pops or whatever.
no,
or
like
Crunch
you
Nut
wouldn't
Cornflakes.
be eating these as a treat. But if you came home from the gym or something and wanted a snack, and you had these and not a protein bar.
Yeah.
You know, They're kind of at the same level, right? So you think a protein bar and a toffee crisp or Kit Kat,
Yeah.
or oh my god, right? Did you know that they stopped making drifters?
No, I didn't.
Either did I, until like, was it like a year or 2 years ago? Sarah was going into the shop and she says, "Oh, what do you want? Do you want anything in the shop? Toffee crisp or Kit Kat is usually my go-to." I said, "You know what? I haven't had a drifter in ages. See if there's drifters." And there's no drifters. And I didn't think anything of it. Just a random shop, no drifters. But then over the course of the next 13 or 14 times that Sarah asked me, "Do I want anything in the shop, in different shops?" there was no drifters. And I went and Googled it. They stopped making drifters.
What was the company that made drifters? Was it like a Cadbury's type thing?
No, Nestle, was it?
Oh, was it?
I think so.
So they just decided to.
Yeah,
Leave them.
like.
Was that a specifically Irish thing, the drifter?
No, I don't think so. They're stopped everywhere anyway. I found that on Google. I was
That's sad.
heartbroken. Like, if I knew the last time I had a drifter was going to be the last time I was ever going to have a drifter, I probably would have saved it a little bit more.
Yeah. That would have made it a little bit more special, I suppose. But that is life, isn't it? You'll never know what you have until it's gone. If you had drifters all the time now, you'd just be like, it's just another drifter. But now you've got this memory of the drifter in your head. And you're like, I'll
How nice it
always
was.
remember the drifter. That's actually a good, we were going to talk about things that we missed when we were younger. From
Oh,
when
is that what we were doing?
That was meant to be
Oh my
what we
God.
were. But that is definitely one that ties in with what we were talking about.
Well, when I used to work in the evening time in work in Maynooth, I used to go over to the arse block and get a drifter out of the vending machine. And I do that like every other night, like.
They're
I wouldn't do it every night. And just have it with me tea or whatever, like.
Yeah.
And there was like open access computers in the arse block, I remember. And used to sit at them and like watch like the Champions League on like used to be a website called like WYSIWYG.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch on that. But that's like 2010, 2011, like.
Yeah.
Have because we didn't have a computer upstairs. We only had one in the downstairs office. So if there's someone in the downstairs office, you were just sitting upstairs. And at the time, you didn't have great phones either. Like what did I have in like what was 2010, 2011? Was it Nokia Lumia? When did that come out? That was my first like touchscreen phone, Nokia Lumia. What did
2010, 11. Yeah, it would have been around there. The iPhones were kind of 2000.
I never had an iPhone.
9. Yeah, no, my ex had an iPhone, the first one, and it was so cool. I wanted to take her phone so bad. And then she eventually got a new phone, and I was like, I want that phone. And then I wanted her new phone even better, so, didn't.
I can't remember the last button one I had. I think it was one of them like square Nokias, was it?
Would you go back to the button phone? I seen Tommy Tiernan went back to the button phone there.
Oh, I did, yeah.
Would you go back to it? There is bits about the phone that really annoy me.
Yeah, like what I done actually there a while ago was I set the limits for the screen time and stuff.
All right.
So trying to keep it down under 3 hours.
Phone just shuts off
But the
whenever you
thing
try to
about
use
it is that the most like it wasn't TikTok. Like, what do you think is? I've ruined it now. But
That's a hole, that TikTok place. Jesus, you could lose a few hours.
what do you think would be like my biggest used app? on the phone. Like, it's not a dirty app. I can tell it by the
My
eyes. you
eyebrows
made.
raised there. Your most used, probably either Instagram or Spotify.
Yeah, so people are limiting their time on their phone because it's like social media and a screen time or whatever. My biggest used app was Dundee.
You're such a farmer.
Hours of scrolling through things that I can't afford to buy, but I still like looking at.
Do you ever? This is something that I know other people do this. do. I know other people do this as well. Do you ever go on Daft and just look at random houses?
Oh yeah,
Just go through people's houses
Yeah.
and see.
Especially if I'm driving home past a house that I've been driving by loads and wondered what it was like inside.
look like?
And as soon as I see it's for sale, it's onto Daft.
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
also looking on Daft because I want to buy a house. But
Right. That's your, is that your next step? Is that something you want?
I'd love to build one, but I don't know. It's hard to see it happening.
Would you have? Because that's something I'm kind of going into now myself. But would you build on the land that you have out there? Would that be something your parents would?
No, because that's the sheep land now.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the sheep, isn't it?
you've after snookering yourself there into a
Yeah,
corner.
well, you see, the thing is, right, so there's a bit of land beside us, and eventually, like, I'd like to try and buy it, and it has a bit of road frontage, and maybe be able to build a house there, but I think it's just a little bit easier than to buy one that's already a house than to build one, I think. And I think the banks prefer that as well. I think you get the money across a bit easier, because it's just going from, you know, from your bank to their bank with solicitor fees or whatever.
Definitely
Instead
easier.
of- yeah, instead
Definitely
of,
easier for them. But I mean, the thing is, if you know the right people, you could build a house for a hell of a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Than
Actually,
you'd
that
buy
was
one.
going to be one of the topics that I was going to do, because I know 2 or 3 people. Well, I know more than that, but probably 2 or 3 people lately that have built houses.
Yeah.
So kind of ask them. I thought that might be a good, interesting topic to do, an
Yeah.
informative one maybe for people who are going down the same track. So we
Yeah.
might get them on sometime as well. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
that'd be
interesting.
good. I could learn lots
Because
about building
I was
houses.
talking to one of them recently, and there is a hell of a lot of stuff that I never even thought of about building a house.
Right.
And it was him that said that it's probably the banks probably like you more when you go in and you've just a house that's there already, and it's just transferring money across or whatever.
Oh yeah, easy
But,
peasy.
Like, I look at the ones on Daft, and you're just looking at them, and you think like, oh yeah, I wouldn't do that, but you're just so used to the ones you've been in,
Yeah, sure.
you know, and then you really probably have to go look at them and be in them to see, you know, because you kind of get blindsided by the way people have them done up.
Sure. Oh,
But
absolutely. Yeah.
you have to remember that you might like it or you might not like it, but that's not going to be there.
Yeah, yeah. It's not going to look like that when you move in.
No.
It'll be blank.
Because I assume very few people sell the belongings with the house. I don't know.
No,
You
I would
might
imagine
leave,
not.
you might
No.
leave stuff behind you, maybe, but
No, if you're selling a house, all of the stuff in the house is yours. It's not like a rental. So I would imagine that's the case.
mead is dear though.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever looked on Daft in the other counties and see what you get for your money?
No, I tend to not want to live beyond Meath.
No, either
It's
do
a bit
I.
hairy.
But when you go onto Daft first, you know the way it just puts up houses for sale,
Yeah.
and just scroll down the first page and you see, like, if you were going to like Longford, Offaly, Westmeath, and even Leitrim, you'd get far more book or
I've seen like Oldcastle, Cavan. Everyone goes to Cavan to build houses.
oh yeah. Well, I think the planning permission seems to be a little bit easier to get there for some reason.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe they. No, better not.
Don't go down this hole. Don't start insulting Cavan.
Yeah, just stop there. But
Yeah.
no, that's just like, I think you're looking at these houses and it's very hard to find one you like, because I wouldn't like to live in the estate. Ideally, I'd like to buy something that maybe had 3 or 4 acres, a little farm or something like.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Something with land, a little bit out in the country.
Yeah.
Be perfect.
But you see the one like, and I think, was it in Leitrim? And it was 280,000. It was a house that, like, granted, it needs to be modernised, but it's not so ran down that you couldn't move into.
Yeah.
It's just that, you know, everything was livable. It's just needed to be updated, like.
Sure.
Because some of these places you look and you're thinking, well, you couldn't move in there straight away or whatever.
Yeah.
But you can move into this. And I think there was like 21, 22 acres. And
Whoa.
It was, yeah. And it was and a few outbuildings and sheds. I think it was like 280,000.
Gee, Mac.
That's quality, like.
Have you looked into, say, mortgages and what you'd get?
Yes.
Yeah. I did that too.
I started a mortgage saver account when I was 30.
That's very, very smart. You're very you're very sensible.
Yeah, and I started my own mortgage, my own pension, because I didn't have one at work at the time, but I've since become permanent, so I have that pension now as well. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I'm starting a pension now this year.
It's got a lad called Fergal, I think his name was. He like randomly rang me up one day and said, "Oh, you don't need to call into us now. We can do it over the phone, but it'll take about 40 minutes to set up the pension."
Right.
And I said, "Oh, grand," because it was one of those things that was in my head when I was 30 that I didn't have a pension, and maybe I was just had that bit more money that I could afford to put a bit away.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about, but then you had to go have a meeting and then go into the bank and put your time aside. And then when he rang up and said, I said, "That's grand," he said, "Pencil me in 45 minutes or whatever I'll do on my lunch break."
Let's do it. I was watching Family Guy in work anyway, so let's get this done.
So I think a couple of days later he rang us and he set the whole thing up, and it's just questions about investing or whatever and how much money you can put aside every month or whatever. So I just put €100 a month into it. That was all.
That's it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And it's nesting there away over the last 5 years, like, you know.
That's it. And you get obviously like state pension on top of that as well.
Yeah, well, I have I feed one in Minute now as well since it was made permanent. So it only took me 11 years to get my contract. Different issue altogether. We won't get started on that.
Yeah. Just in case anyone is listening from Minute. But I was saying there was something that I wanted to ask you. Now maybe it's another one for another day.
We're going to have to start writing these down.
I know,
because we are going to forget what topics we're going to cover. Like,
well, we haven't really covered the when we were young one. We can come back to that, I suppose.
Okay.
But the thing I was going to say to you on the topic of you being sensible, you don't drink.
No.
And since I've known you, you haven't drank. It's been something that you've not done ever. Have you ever been tempted to have a drink?
I was going to get a few bottles of that Heineken 00 to see what it was like.
Yeah, there's Guinness 0 now as well.
People say that's a bit like shit though. The only thing, right, so Johnny gave me some non-alcoholic gin. I didn't like it. But as I was trying to explain it, and maybe I didn't explain it great, was I didn't like it because I don't know what alcohol tastes like.
Yeah.
So obviously if you've been drinking that really like sharp taste, you've either got accustomed to it or like it or no, that's part of it.
Yeah.
And then if you obviously wanted, you know, if everybody else was around with drinking, you were driving and you want to have a non-alcoholic drink, you're used to that kind of taste. But I would have just taken it my body.
Yeah. You see, I drank for years and then I stopped drinking completely. The odd time now I'd go and have a pint, but it's very, very odd that I would now. But I'm about 2-3 years not drinking really. And like that.
Hang on, I'll give you a stone first.
So I'd like to get your thoughts on like tips and tricks for like going to parties and to the pub, because there's a point when you're in the pub and you're not drinking where everything's fine for about 2 or 3 hours, and then it gets to about midnight, 1:30.
That's your first mistake.
Staying that long?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I find I get to there and it's like, it's a different world.
Well, I've gone to stage now that
goes mad.
I haven't gone out in ages anyway, because I prefer to go for dinner or like go to like a comedy gig or some kind of gig or whatever. Like, so that's what I do for fun now, whatever. Because I don't drink, and a lot of my mates don't go out that often anymore anyway.
Right.
But I suppose maybe a lot of them more kind of drink because they like whatever they're drinking now rather than to be getting drunk or whatever, maybe.
Yeah.
I know Johnny always likes his gin on the weekends or whatever.
He's definitely a gin guy.
But like when I was going out, so say from the time I was 17 until the time I was about 28 was when I tailed it off. Yeah. That I only went out like at like 20 to 12.
Right.
That was my time to go out. At the time, maybe did I... So when I was around 17, 18, 19, I wouldn't have like Sky at home. So I'd watch Match of the Day and then I'd go out like... Oh,
that's a good idea.
And then you're there for about 40 minutes, 12:15, people are heading to the nightclub, then you go to the nightclub, leave the nightclub around 2 o'clock, go get food. Because I always found the more interesting stuff either happened in the smoking area or after the nightclub.
Yeah.
You know, when you're having the crack or whatever. Because nightclubs are so loud.
Oh, they're bananas. They're absolutely nuts. I don't understand how people... It's just a sign of us getting old, though. I think it's like, well, how do they talk in that noise?
Even then, like people used to come up to me and because, like, you know, personal space, and they'd be shouting into your ear. Yeah, because gross. I don't know. I think maybe when you get drunk, you lose the sense of what's loud and what's not loud. I don't know. And well, you definitely lose the sense of personal space.
Yeah, you do. I went out actually with Johnny Crean over the Christmas and Robbie Kennedy.
Thanks for inviting me.
I'm pretty sure you were invited.
I'm pretty sure
Well,
I was not.
I'm pretty sure
because everybody forgets about me when they're going to the pub.
I'm
That's
pretty
why.
sure I wasn't invited at the time either, and Robbie was
Hi
like,
guys, I just hear.
I just turned it off. No, Robbie was going with Johnny and who else was there? God, I can't think now. There was a few lads who were like a year below us or whatever. But I went in. Robbie was like, "Come on down, and we'll come in for one or whatever." Because I like going in. I'll go in and say hello or whatever. But I love driving home away from stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I always hear about the stories the next day of, we did this, we did that. But I had a drink anyway. I was like, oh, right, grand, I'll have a pint and I'll see how I go. And then Robbie, another pint of Guinness appeared in front of me. It was in Marcy's there in Trim. And then another one appeared, and another one appeared, and we ended up having like 6 pints and like 2 whiskies.
But that's a lot different than when you're younger too. That's just mates meeting up, having a few pints, having a chat. Like that's a lot different as well.
Yeah. The thing about it was that as I said, I don't really drink that much, so I couldn't see. I got my mother to come down and give me,
Lord.
which is like, that's like early teens sort of.
How embarrassing.
Come and give me a lift home, me and Robbie a lift home, and the whole way home in the car I was like just sitting there real silent because I needed to get sick badly.
And that's just after 6 pints, but then you hadn't been drinking for a while. Like.
I have no experience of this really. But in saying that, I had a class night. There wasn't a moment when I was like, I really need to, apart from when I need to puke, I really need to leave here. And it was, we had great banter. Tony Darcy was the other fellow who was there,
Tony
actually.
Darcy.
Sorry, yeah. I think Eddie Murray was in the group as well. But
you see, that's grand for me. But like that, I mean, I'd call over to Johnny or I'd meet Nicky for tea or coffee or whatever. And that's just what I do now, like, instead of going. But like, the older we got, the more people forgot to ask me to go to the pub. Probably wouldn't go anyway, but it's always nice.
It's nice to get the old invite. If I'm ever going to a pub again, I will invite you. I don't think we'd been...
Because I wouldn't mind sitting in like a quiet one where you can chat. Like,
Yeah.
I have no interest
Marcy's
in going
good.
to back to when like 20, 21, 22, mad, like loud music player and can't have the chat or whatever.
Yeah.
But
You
if
need
it's
the chat.
If you're going in
crucial.
somewhere having the chat or whatever.
Marcy's is good for that. You go in and you sit in the back and have a little
'cause
chat there.
me and Johnny went for dinner there a couple of times, well, pre-pandemic, of course, and stuff like that. And you have the chat, like.
Yeah.
I don't mind that, like.
Yeah.
But something about like drinking and that, I could never understand people going too far.
Well, do you want me to
Like,
do you want me to explain?
Fair play if you want to do that, whatever. But like, you're literally writing off your whole Sunday, like. And like, the only time I've ever gotten sick is when I've been sick.
Right.
And then, which granted, you can never, like, you just get sick and that's it. It's not your fault or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But to put yourself into a predicament where like you're shook on a Sunday, like, I don't know. Obviously, alcohol, like, the more alcohol you drink, the lower your ability to say no is. I don't know.
There it is. That's exactly what it is.
Oh no, I'm not that drunk.
So after 2 drinks, that everything, consequences disappear, inhibitions disappear. It's all about having the crack.
But if you're
That's
gonna
it.
feel that bad on a Sunday, like,
But you don't think about that. That's not the thing. And you know what? There's been a million times when I've woke up, like after that thing at Christmas.
Yeah.
I went home. I got in the front door of my house. I got sick all over my bathroom. All over it. All over it. Went to bed. I woke up on the Sunday and I felt terrible because I had well, I didn't have to. I could have got a lift, but I decided that I was going to walk back to Trim the next morning to get my car.
Oh wow.
And you know where I live.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good halfway between that boy and Trim. It's a good walk. But I felt terrible. And I said then, I'm never drinking again. Yeah. Never, ever. But it always comes to the point that I have a pint and then someone puts another one in front of me and then there'll be another one and be like, yeah, there's no consequences. And you forget.
I think as I got older, I didn't mind it because you're just out for a crack or whatever, 17, 18, 19, I was driving, bringing lads home or whatever the case may be. And then the older I got, the less I could put up with what the Sunday was like.
Yeah.
People complain, oh, I'm sick, oh, I'm dying or whatever. It's like, oh, it's your fucking own fault.
Yeah, it is.
And
Yeah,
then there's people that talk about how great it is to be like that. And you're just thinking, no.
That's not fun.
No,
And your body
I don't
gets,
think
your tolerance to hangovers gets lower and lower as you get older. It gets harder. I know, that's the one thing that would have turned me off it.
Each their own. That was just my point of view of seeing the way I'd see it.
Yeah.
From someone who hasn't drank. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. That's up to you.
So that's that.
What do you think of Grandma Crunch?
Grandma Crunch. When I first heard about it, I didn't understand the appeal of it.
Yeah.
I was thinking of it more as we've talked about Crunch Nut cornflakes like that.
Yeah.
But I can actually see the
Like, it is better value than going to buy the protein bars.
when you compare them to those. Yes.
Like, I think you can buy a box of maybe 12 protein bars, and they're up around the same price as the 4 boxes.
So that makes sense.
So, but I would use that as the snack. I wouldn't be buying it as my morning breakfast cereal.
No.
So I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
So I'd have them at home if, you know, instead of having the bar, if you're having a cup of tea or whatever, wanting something instead of a protein bar, your 31 grams of Grandma Crunch is grand.
Yeah.
I wouldn't advise buying it as your main cereal in the morning because I don't see 31 grams lasting.
No. If you eat it as your cereal,
I think if I was to fill the bowl the way I'd fill it, if that was the Cocoa Pops or Crunchy Nuts, would you get 3 bowls out of it? That's about it though.
No. Because
your bowls are a lot smaller than the bowl I have at home.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've a problem with Crunch Nut cornflakes, so I have to limit the size of my bowls.
All right.
So we're going 2 thumbs up, I think, or 2 waffles up.
2, yeah. Oh, right, okay. So 2 waffles up. Are we going to have like a 10 waffle grade, a 5 waffle grade?
Okay, so how many waffles out of 10 would you rate Grandma's Crunch?
Well, I think it's better value for money than I thought it was.
Yeah,
because it's
for sure.
It's 4 boxes.
Yeah.
And it came quite quick. I think it came in 3 days or something, was it?
Yeah,
4
it was
days,
very, very quick. Yeah.
You know, and that came from Poland, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And a longer way to come, and it still came going. I do like the art, the whole Grandma thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Yeah,
no
it's cool.
idea is this why it's called Grandma Crunch. I don't know, but it's funny.
Whoever came up with that is a genius. It's actually pretty funny. The drawings are class.
It's vegan friendly as well.
There you go.
That's important.
That's important to a lot of people. Yeah. So it's vegan friendly too. I'd probably, when we first started talking about it and I thought of it as a cereal, and then the amount that was there, I was like, I probably would have given it 2 waffles out of 10 if we're talking about waffles. But I very much would, instead of the protein bars, I'm seeing value for money there.
If you're subbing them in for protein bars, I think it's really good, and it's probably better value for money than buying packs of protein bars.
Yeah.
However, you do need to, like, that's the thing. You go into a shop and you spend $2.50, but if you spend that over the course of how many times you're buying that, I know it's a big outlay at the start. It's €36 or whatever.
Yeah.
But just don't use them as breakfast cereal.
Yeah, no.
Use them as your snack. I think is going to be fine. So there's 4 flavors at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So this is would you say coca?
Cacao. It's chocolate.
Okay, yeah. And there's a peanut butter one.
Yum.
A coconut one. And a cinnamon one.
Right. I will wait to hear your review of each of the flavors.
So
maybe.
that cocoa one is grand. It probably
nice.
tastes something like, as you were saying, what are them chocolate balls? Not
Nesquik.
Yeah. So I've eaten them before. So they taste something similar like that.
Yeah. Wouldn't be as sugary. There's not much
they don't like disintegrate. Like if you picked one of them up, you'd find it very hard to break it in your finger.
Yeah.
Where the Nesquik things, it just break into powder or dust or whatever.
Do you know, with the Crunch Nut cornflakes, I always feel that I've got a coating or a taste in my mouth after I eat them for a while. With these,
sugar.
with these I don't. I'm not feeling any kind of residue or anything.
Oh, yeah, that's because there's not. What it is there's zero like refined sugar or added sugar. There's just whatever sugar is in it from whatever to put into it. So I would recommend them to a friend.
I'm gonna go 6 or 7 waffles
Out of 5. I don't think you understand how this works.
Out of 10.
Oh, out of 10.
Are we going 5 or are we going 10? We have to really refine this category and how we're categorizing them.
I think it'd be easier to rate things with 10. That leaves you more room, like.
Yeah, there's wiggle room there.
Yeah, I think
I'm going to say 6 or 7. I'll go 7 because they surprised me.
Yeah, the taste is just fine. It's like everything that has the extra protein or like protein bars. The way they don't taste like toffee crisps, and the maple syrup I have doesn't taste like actual maple syrup, but it's a fine substitute, like. Yeah, and it's definitely up there on the price compared to buying the same amount of protein bars, which is important as well.
Although the only thing that I find
I think 6.5, 7 is solid, like.
Yeah. You can't go. The drawback to it is that you can't go down to Super Value and pick up a packet of them.
No, you have to order them online.
Yeah.
Where like you go into any shop now, you have either Everest, Fulfill,
It's all there.
PhD bars, whatever. Like
I'd like a PhD bar. It's about as close as I'll ever get to a fucking PhD. So yeah, 7 out of 10. I think is my rating for them.
yeah, I go 7 too. Fair play.
Also, if your target
Well done.
market is actually grandmothers, buying stuff online is probably not the best. So I don't think it's actually targeted
No,
at grandmas.
I'd love to wonder why it's got. Is it just for having the artistry on it that like would I have gone into it if it wasn't called Grandma Crunch?
I mean, it definitely it brought us in, didn't it? In fairness, I
Yeah.
saw the name, I was like, yeah, I'll take that.
Fair play. Okay, so that's good. So that's kind of our first. We kind of chopped and changed between reviewing it and talking about other stuff.
Yeah.
But it is the nature of the Waffle Hour.
It's in there.
Have you the other jingle ready?
I do.
Oh my god. Oh, okay.
Right.
There's more pressure now because I usually don't have to actually lead into this.
Okay. Here.
So no, hang on. So you're ready to click when I say it.
Well, yeah, there'll be a bit of editing magic that's about
Okay.
to happen.
So, Scotty, are you ready for the Waffle Hour?
Yes.
Waffle Hour or Waffle Jingle? Oh no! Oh my god!
It's that time, you know the name. It's the reason we all came. Find the words that are the same. It's that time to play the waffle game.
Editing magic.
Yes, as if by some kind of mystical, magical granny that comes down and gives you protein cereal.
We need to get sponsored by that company. Jesus.
Welcome to the Grandma Crunch Waffle Hour. Just to restate, I did pay the €36 for the Grandma Crunch.
Okay.
Who went first last week, Scotty?
I can't remember. What were the topics that we had last week? Last week was the game.
League of Ireland.
No, it wasn't. That was the week before that. I did countries beginning with S, I think I remember, because we talked about Daro Drummer.
What did I do then?
Switzerland. You asked me about FIFA covers, is what you did. And I think
League of Ireland
went
was
first.
week 4. Oh, yes, and if you've got this far and you are listening, please do go back and listen to episode 1 through 19.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All in one day.
Probably should have said it earlier than now, but I knew there was something else I was meant to say at the start.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I'll ask mine first and then you
Okay,
go
so you're
second.
asking first. Okay.
All right, okay.
Okay.
So, after I finish this sentence, you will have 30 seconds. Now, I'm not finished the sentence yet.
Okay.
After I finish this sentence,
Yes.
you will have 30 whole seconds, not 20, not 40.
30 whole seconds.
30 whole seconds is in the song. To tell me 5 things about the TV series Friends.
Monica, Ross, Chandler, Phoebe, Central Park, Gunter, Apartments, people being friends, people having their brothers triplets, Emma, Ben, little girl Chandler, Leslie, I can't remember the other triplet. The second floor was 17, living in your grandma's flat.
Oh, nice.
The door frame, Etch a Sketch.
Time. Did you like Friends?
No, I never watched it.
Yeah, clearly not, because you got one.
It was too broad of a subject.
Hey, it's pretty broad. I mean, yeah, I know. I was kind of getting revenge for, was it the last week or the week before you gave me Nicolas Cage, and I was just like, what? I just started naming movies straight away. I don't think I really understood the idea that you had to name things about him as well. So yeah, you got Central Perk.
Okay.
I think you actually said Central Park, but I'll let you away
Well,
with
it's
that one.
beside Central Park.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I'll give you
But the
that.
shop is called Central Park because it's percolation coffee.
Yeah. So the other ones I had were Ugly Naked Guy.
You're dope. Go on.
Do you not remember Ugly Naked Guy?
I do, yeah, but Jesus. You're meant to pick like the obvious ones.
These are pretty obvious, I would think. The other one was How You Doing?
Okay, phrase, okay.
How You Doing? Mike was the character that I picked. I went a little bit deep on that one.
Because you're dickhead.
I know, I'm starting to feel bad now because we're sitting here in the same room.
I named like nearly all the other characters.
There's a threat of violence now. All of a sudden, being in the same room
between us.
My last one is Chandler Bong. Remember Chandler Bong?
Oh yeah, Miss Chandler Bong.
The name that he got on the
magazine was sent to him.
Yeah. That was kind of mean. I feel bad for that now. I'll go a little bit easier next week on you.
How many towels has Monica got? What was
Oh,
Monica's
yeah.
name?
It was the
when she
categories,
used to be
wasn't
the
it?
field hockey goalie.
What was it? Big fat goalie. I actually told my
He's a transponsor.
sponsor. I told my daughter, my older daughter Faye, that I was going to do one on Friends, and she went bananas for like 5 minutes because she loves Friends.
Yeah, but looking at it now, like it's
Yeah,
some of the things a bit dodgy.
hasn't aged well in places.
I think though, if like unless you knew someone who really liked it and you watched it, or you watched it when it was on, I don't think many would just watch it off spec now as a show. You know, like you're looking for a box set of things to watch. I
Yeah.
don't think Friends will be up there on it.
No, but I think once you start watching it, like
Yeah.
the quality's
I remember
undoubtable.
having to wait until 9:30 or 25 past 9 on Network 2 every Monday night.
Network 2.
Look at you being able to watch all of them now together.
In your Netflix binge. Yeah, so there you go. One. Oh, you're getting ready to just slaughter me now.
No, I was actually being nice. I put something in your wheelhouse. That's what I've done.
But you know the thing with me is that if you give me something that's in my wheelhouse, I'm gonna get 0 or 1. Apart from when there's FIFA covers.
We'll see. Oh yeah, see, I found the 99 case.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I definitely have all of them. But
I love that case. It's a classic.
Okay. Now, I hope I say this right. Scotty, you have 30 seconds to name brands of... Oh, my God. Brands of guitars.
Oh, Epiphone, Les Paul, Fender, Korg. What else have I got? Ibanez.
I don't want to see you through the sheet.
No, I'm not even looking at it. Ibanez. Jeez, I can't even think now. Paul Reed Smith
7
or
seconds.
PRS. What else? Court. Oh, I said that already.
Your time is up.
Names of guitars. That was a good one, actually.
Yeah, I didn't realize how many brands there was.
There's so many.
I know, yeah. So maybe it was too broad. You said Fender,
Yes.
so you got one. No, you said Gibson.
I didn't say Gibson, no. I
And-
said Les Paul, but that is a Gibson. But, it's not really.
Technicality.
Yeah. Don't be so mean. Why you? Oh, yeah, I know why you're being mean.
Taylor.
Oh, yeah, I play a Taylor.
Is any of these? No, these are acoustic guitars. Are they?
Yeah,
What?
no, there's not a Taylor there, though.
Oh.
But, yeah, they're
I'll probably say this wrong. Grotesque.
grotesque. I don't think.
Grotesque.
Was that Gretsch?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Gretsch?
Yeah.
Gretsch.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gretsch. Where are they from?
Germany, I think. Gretsch.
And, is it a Godin? He used to play for Atletico Madrid. I don't know if he still
Godin.
does.
Yeah, I'd say he still does, yeah.
Okay, so they are actually brands of guitars you can confirm.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
'Cause I googled it, so I wasn't sure.
I know every one of them, and I only got one.
It's sometimes when you listen to it in the morning on the way to work, like it is one of those things you either know or you don't know.
Yeah.
It's very hard to guess. And then there was one. Who was the one that actually won the 1,000? And they're like, "Oh my God, I don't know anything." And Ian Dempsey's like, "Just clear your mind and name whatever." And she started naming things, and she got all 5.
She's like a Yoda
Yeah.
of waffles.
What was it the other morning? One was like, was it Finding Nemo? And like, if you've never seen it, like, you're not going to get them. Like,
No.
you know.
Should we, is there ever a morning, because this happens to me when we do it, is there ever a morning when someone just sits there and just says nothing?
Well, they always try. There was actually one, and I think Ian Dempsey said Keanu Reeves, and your man's like, "What's that?" And he didn't hear him right. And then when he actually does, the movie actor like Keanu Reeves or whatever, and I think he ended up getting 3 like just in the last like 3 or 4 seconds, and he got them.
He should have let him go again.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time it actually won it. Was there one last week? Can't remember, but you must be sickened when you get 4. I think you won on Got Friday, got 4, but I can't remember what the topic was.
Can we have a prize if we get 5? Because no one's ever got 5.
Well, I have recently delved into the merchandise market.
I saw that during the week, yeah.
Yes. So what we're planning on doing, and maybe if you get 5, you can have a pair. Yeah. Is that people will send us in correspondence.
Yeah.
We will choose which ones to read out, and someone is going to get. I'll have to confirm whether it's one or a pair of the Waffle Hour podcast. JB Waffle Hour podcast socks.
Oh yeah,
We're going for socks.
Yes,
Because everyone else like does merchandise and they do all these other things: hoodies, jumpers, t-shirts, mugs.
Yep.
Nobody does socks.
Unisex as well.
Yep.
Yep.
So, yeah, socks. I have yet to see whether it's one I bought or a pair. Like, is it obvious that socks come in a pair? Should I have picked to send two? So I only got one, either pair or one sock, just to see what it's like on it. And does it because they're orange because of waffles.
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't know if you're going to wear orange socks. And then in black print on it, it just says the JB Waffle Hour podcast.
Ooh,
So we shall see what they're like.
very nice. That'll be another review.
Yeah, and Irish company, managed to find an Irish company that does it.
Oh, good.
Very hard to get a company that does personalization on socks.
Really?
Yeah, like you'll get jumpers, hoodies, whatever, but it's very hard to find socks.
So you went specifically looking for socks.
Yeah.
Right.
When they come, and if we're going to use them, we'll order more of them, and then we'll say who we got them off then.
We did discuss also giving away socks that have been pre-worn by us as well.
A lot more emails in about that than I thought it was going to be for some strange reason. Yeah. And then you were wondering about the level of socks.
The level of wearedness.
Yeah, weirdness.
Yeah.
So we get a new pair of socks. So either wear them for the podcast, you said.
Yeah. That's, relatively easy
Level
amount
one.
of weirdness and sweatiness in them. Yeah, level 1 is wearing them on the podcast. Level 2, maybe a trip to the shops, going for a walk around the shops, doing a bit of shopping, buying your grandma crunch.
And then, wait, yeah, I don't think there's any stock is in there, but anyway.
You have to walk to Poland. Level 3 then would be what? A little bit of light running?
Light running. And then level 4 is like playing a match or something?
Yeah, so
Or going running a marathon?
playing a match, or I was saying I'll do a gig in one.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of sweating in gigs. 2 hours straight of jumping about the place acting the maggot.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're into that, you can contact us.
So we've done what was it, the talking thing? No, if I'd say something else there.
How are you going to like
ASMR and
a sort of what's it called? A sort of authenticity. Are you going
Yeah.
to take pictures of you in the socks?
you'd have to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pre and post.
We could do a video if someone actually wants them. That's actually
Putting them on.
I know you think this is a joke, but I'm actually serious. If someone says that they want the socks pre-worn, I will do a whole video on how the socks were worn,
Okay.
and then send them out, and then they have to send one back to us so we can put it on
And
the Instagram.
we're gonna do some video podcast.
Yeah,
So at the moment on
In the future.
YouTube, it's just audio and just our logo on it.
right.
So might work on either recording the full episode, or try and get some graphics up on it to make it easier to listen to maybe.
Nice. Yeah. I'm down for
Because
that.
as is the top 5 things to get your podcast out there, it was to put them on YouTube as well for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sounds like a good
YouTube's
idea.
a big old market, I would say.
Yeah. we'll see.
Yeah. So that's.
And once again, I did pay for grammar. Just so you know.
Have you got?
They did share our story to their story.
I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very cool.
But go over to Instagram, and like it doesn't take a lot to follow, and we only put up like a couple of things. Like I'm trying to put up one thing Monday through Friday, because to keep it lively. Like I don't know if there's such a thing as because people are talking about algorithms and like YouTube and TikTok, but I don't know if there's one on Instagram to get them out there or not.
Sure. Give us a like and a share.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Send it out there. Just takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, because you are listening. Fair play, Dara Drummett.
Yeah.
We got our little Switzerland country is now covered in purple that someone is listening to.
Confirmed. The
So
stick man popped up.
Our 9th country we've done, yeah.
Global domination of
Yeah.
the
Well,
Waffle Hour.
passing 1,000 was nice. It's slow, but we didn't really have any fan base or listeners before we started, so
Yeah.
no, it's good. Should we finish on a shell bomb?
Go for it, one of your weekly shell bombs.
I don't think I have a shell bomb.
Oh. If you're going to say shell bomb, you have to have one to follow it up, Bertie.
As I was walking over here, the alleyway beside Chekhov's,
Right.
there was a car in it. He obviously didn't know it wasn't like a drive-through alleyway.
That happens all the bloody time.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
He was trying to reverse back through it. I don't know if that's a shell bomb or not. I don't know. I think us getting socks, the JB Waffle Hour merchandise socks was a bit of a shell bomb.
Do you think?
Yeah, no, people not like that.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'll give you a shell bomb to finish.
Okay,
All right.
The local news.
No, not even.
Oh,
Okay, here we go. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So this is going to finish the podcast.
Okay.
This is this week's Shell Bomb.
Okay, bye.
Apparently, some cats are actually allergic to humans.
The Jamie Waffle